Recently, the Palm Springs Kiwanis Club had another great speaker. Let's listen in.
I found out that today is International Chocolate Cupcake Day. Take one, pass them around. Chocolate cupcakes, for those of you who like chocolate cupcakes. I found those and I thought, well, why not? Seems like a fitting dessert. I belong to a group called Richard's Radio Theater. This was started by a guy called Richard Fredrickson, of whom I'd never heard until about a year ago. And I was looking through the internet for seniors and things for seniors to do at the senior centers around Las Vegas. And I saw this old-time radio. Well, I've known Dennis for quite a number of years, and I knew he was interested in. I'm kind of interested in old-time radio, not to his extent, but I enjoy it. So I went to the senior center and walked into this room full of, there were about 8 or 10 people in there, and explained to them that I had seen the ad in the senior center, and I would like to join the group. So I got involved in this. We go to assisted living facilities, retirement homes, and present skits from old-time radio. Baby Snooks, the Bickersons, Fibber McGee and Molly. We do all these skits, and we sing a couple of songs. Our reward, because we don't charge, we are not a not-for-profit, but we are not a profit company. Our reward, though, is in watching the faces of those people who don't really get out much, you know, and to see a memory light up their faces. That's our reward, and it's a very rewarding. It's something you could do right here in town. Actually, it's the main thing is taking the time to rehearse properly and getting your shows together, having a variety of shows, because we go back to the same places month after month. We normally do one show a week. During this time of year, the holiday season, we do 2 shows a week, or as many as we can feel like we can safely do. It's, as I said, a very rewarding enterprise. It's not financially rewarding, but the joy that we get from presenting these shows to people is just, it's beyond compare.
How many people are in your group there?
We have some weeks 8, 9, 10. It depends on what program we're presenting, how many parts are required, and who's available. Doctor appointments, you know, we're all older, retired people. So as long as we don't have a doctor appointment. In fact, one of our ladies tomorrow is having a cataract removed. Then on Friday she gets a shot in her eye every month for macular degeneration. I can't even think of that. I just can't. But so we don't have any shows scheduled for this week because of the fact that I'm here, and she's our sound effects person. It's kind of hard. But we've got all kinds of sound effects, and she's got an iPad. She pushes a button and it plays a falling body or a song or whatever. And we just enjoy doing this. It's something that, it's an outlet for us those of us who are frustrated actors, who can't make it in the big time. but we enjoy ourselves. Aha. Okay, you need to start a group right here in town. There you go. I'd like to show you kind of what we do. Dennis had submitted for our use a skit that we actually do use in our presentation, and I brought it along, and it's somewhere in here. And we're going to do this thing. It was done originally on radio or on...
In 1957, in the early days of radio into the 50s, companies owned the hour or the half hour. And instead of running repeats, which they never really did early on because you couldn't really record anything except on disc, and if it were a primetime show and the needle got stuck. So they would find a young comedian or another person and commission them to do 13 weeks during the summer. For example, the original run of Boston Blackie on radio with Chester Morris was sponsored by Rinso. Rinso owned that half hour because it was Amos and Andy. But during the summer, they gave the half hour, or didn't give it to, but they decided to hire a whole new cast to do Boston Blackie. So when Jack Benny went off the air in '57 off radio, the last show never announced that that would be Jack Benny's last show. They got Stan Freberg, who was doing so many funny things on record and revolutionized TV commercials, to do a live half-hour show where Jack Benny had been, and this is from one of those shows.
Okay. We continue now with a demonstration of a cappella singing, that is, singing without anyone providing a background, not even a CD or a record or anything. But because this is National Salton Sea Riverboat Captains Week, I would like to...
Sir?
Yes?
Mr. Singer, my name is Tweedley.
Tweedley?
Yes, Tweedley.
We all have our problems.
I am the official censor for the Palm Springs Commission on Decency, Clean Lyrics, and Common Sense in Music.
The what?
Yes, it's important. And this new law went into effect at midnight last night, making it my job to check out any material in any live presentation. That's why I'm here.
Really?
Well, you see, I think the best thing you should do is just to go on with your program, and I will interrupt when I think it's necessary.
You mean you are going to stop me every time I do something that you think is wrong?
Well, exactly. And I have this little horn, and that will tell you to stop because something's wrong.
Somehow, I can tell this is just going to be one of those days.
Well, you just go right ahead, Mr. Singer, and just do your own thing.
All right. Well, now I'd like to sing.
You forgot to say thank you, Mr. Singer. You see, that is an important part of family entertainment, and I'm talking about politeness. We must be a good influence on sensitive people, particularly Kiwanians, who may be in the audience.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Mr. Tweedley.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Okay, I'd like to sing an old riverboat song to honor the Salton Sea Riverboat Captains Week. Old Man River, that old...
Mr. Singer.
Okay, Tweedley, I don't mind being polite, but what's wrong with Old Man River?
The word old. Now, some of our senior citizens may think that's distasteful. I would suggest you substitute something, please, for old.
I suppose you insist.
Precisely. Now, please continue.
Old man.
Sir, you forgot to say thank you. Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, it is, and you're quite welcome, I'm sure.
elderly man River, that elderly man River, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. Now what, Tweedly?
The word something, you left off the G. Something.
But those lyrics are authentic. Something. That's the way the people along the riverbanks talk.
But the stage is a classroom, Mr. Singer. You must keep in mind the sensitive people and the Kiwanians in your audience.
Okay.
Furthermore, think back. Didn't you say he don't say nothing?
Uh-huh.
Well, now, really, Mr. Singer, that is a double negative. Don't you mean that he does say something?
No. I wasn't using my head, I guess.
Well, after all, if you're going to entertain here in Palm Springs, before these lovely people, you have to be grammatically correct. You probably meant he doesn't say anything.
Yes, I guess that's what I meant. All right, Mr. Tweedly, you win. Let's start again. Thank you, Mr. Tweedly.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Elderly man River, that elderly man River, he must know something, but he doesn't say anything. He just keeps rolling. He just keeps rolling along.
That's very good, Mr. Singer.
Thank you. He doesn't plant potatoes. He doesn't plant cotton. And those who that plants them are soon forgetting. But elderly man River, he just keeps rolling along.
That is excellent. I think you should give him the big ending here.
You and me.
You and I.
You're worried about the
sensitive people. Exactly.
Yeah. You and I, we sweat, perspire and strain, bodies all aching and racked with pain. Didn't hear that one. Tow that barge, heave that bale. You get a little. Okay, take your hand off the horn, Tweedly. I know when I'm licked. So that concludes my song. Oh, and thanks for being here, Mr. Tweedly.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Well, thank you. The people, when that horn starts going off, those people just light up. And it's doing things like that that gives us such a sense of fulfillment. I mean, it's really, it makes my day, it just makes me feel so much better. But that's what we do. Any questions about what we do?
You do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Dennis does a great job too.
And you're welcome, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you write the material all yourself?
We mostly get scripts from the internet.
Oh, you do?
From the shows that were done. My gosh, this is 2 of our shows. Usually we have 8 to 10. It depends again on what show we're doing, how many cast members or how many characters are involved. Some of our things, well, the Bickersons only have the announcer and John and Blanche Bickerson. See, so we've only got 3 people. Some of them have 5 or 6, depending on the show.
You set it up so it looks like a studio?
Yes, sir. We've got microphones and we've got a little on-the-air sign with a light. Yeah, right. We try to keep the noise to a minimum, but in a lot of these places, there's traffic around. Nurses walking by talking to each other, blah, 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 while we're trying to.
Blow your horn, so
Yeah.
you have a cardiac arrest.
There's that. But, well, we've been lucky so far. We've only lost 3. No. But that's basically it. Thank you.
For more, go to KIWANISPalmSprings.org.